Welcome back. Sims Complete, brought to you by FanDuel, part of the Believe Sports Network. Already tongue-tied, big guy.
Yeah.
Because here we go. Let's talk about it. We're not going to mess around here. We're going to dive right into it. Here, Giants, Broncos. Okay, big guy. Lack of sleep on your end, traveling and all that back from Moorhead State from your field naming and all that. Congratulations. And now let's get right back to the nitty-gritty of it. Where do we start with this Giants-Broncos matchup, big guy?
Oh, man, I don't even know. I really don't know.
Yeah, it's tough.
I got home. Just a quick thing. The trip, we come home. It lands on time. It's early. All this, and they cannot get the door to the plane open to let us out. So we were prisoners for quite a long time.
Typical. Yeah.
Yeah. It's here we go. That's what do you call it? Flying is and everything. Something can go wrong. It will go wrong.
Yeah.
What am I thinking? It's just sitting and watching the game on the TV. And, of course, I'm trying to coach it and yell at everybody at the same time.
Right.
And I just kept going, if we could just make one play to stop it, it's over. But we could not make that play. And we're going against the team and the coach, because I'm going to give them some credit. They know how to play frantic football. I mean, they've done it like basically 3 weeks in a row. The Jets, then Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Is that right? And then, of course, the Giants. And finally, I guess I want to say they started opening up their offense, and Bo Nix moved around to throw the football, all that. And the Giants, I don't know, listen to some of the players talk after the game, and they almost admitted they didn't say they were out of gas, but they were tired. So, you know, it's just kind of my first thought. I mean, it was really, and I thought the Giants, if they beat the Denver Broncos, it was going to be a really big upset. But watching the game early, I'm going, wow, they have the talent, the scheme, and everything to compete against the Broncos, and they showed that for quite a bit of the game.
Yeah, and I think that was the most surprising part of it too, is that here I am, I'm thinking the Broncos are a Super Bowl contender with their defense. I thought they would have a tremendous advantage defensively over the Giants, of course, with the Malik Neighbors being out and just their number one guy, not available to them, and yet able to move the football all day in this matchup. And Jaxson Dart, did he miss a few throws? No doubt. It wasn't perfect, but damn, he's able to string together a few big-time plays and scrambles and just play gritty and tough the way that he does. So that's always just refreshing to see that is continuing, right? That wasn't a one-hit wonder. This is who he is. This is how he plays. Get used to it. I thought the play of the day for me, when the ball goes off Wan'Dale Robinson there early in the fourth quarter, and it gets tipped up in the air, and Theo Johnson, almost like they designed it, right? Catches the football out of the air and runs in for the touchdown for, I want to say, about 41 yards, excuse me. That was the play where I said, okay, the football gods, everything's aligned. Yeah. We're going to win this game. They go up 28-6 at that point, 26-8, excuse me. But then from there, just started to fall apart. And I think a big part of that was just the fatigue of this defense was pretty evident there in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I guess it was. You look at the game, I thought the offensive line had a good start to the game, everything, protection, run the football, Scatterboo. Man, come on. What I think of him just goes up every single week, it seems like. You look at his body, and you think, oh, all he is just a ramming. He's the guy just rams his head in there. But then you see the pass that he caught and some of the moves and what he did. Not only does he make it look effortless, it looks easy to him. And of course, great power. And he always likes to show it off. I give him, I would say, you don't have to do that sometimes. But when in doubt, if somebody's in front of him, he's not sure what to do. He just tries to steamroll him, sticks his head right on him. And I keep waiting for him to get up and kind of go, ooh, man, but I haven't seen that yet, man. That body's built for punishment. And he knows what to do with it. Jaxson Dart playing well, everything going their way. And then, as usual, 13-0, they missed the kick, the extra point.
Yeah.
And it's just sitting there, and I go, okay, not a big deal. But then when the Giants score again, 19-0, I always tell the truth here. I'm looking at the TV, and as soon as they go, kick the extra point. I swear that's what I was saying to myself, and my wife, your mother, said, "What's going on?" Well, I'm just making sure I'm coaching them up right here.
Yeah.
Of course, they throw a pass, it fails. It's now 19-0. When it was too early to go for two for me.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, do you agree with that?
That's something that you strongly believe in, just as hey, it's part of your philosophy, right? As a football player and a mind, you prefer going for 2-point conversions only when it is necessary, right, for winning a game or tying a game late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, or if the score is something where you need the two to make it set, whatever, of course, all that. But yeah, I do not like just kick that extra point. Yes, it doesn't look big now, but it could look big later. And I've always said that. And when they did it, the pass failed. It really bothered me.
Yeah.
But as the game went along, of course, I got that out of my head because the Giants were dominating play.
And of course, that was a touchdown by Tracy for 31 yards, where it was well blocked. It was an awesome play design by them and a great execution by the offense on that one. And ultimately, the 13-play drive by the Denver Broncos following that Theo Johnson touchdown, that was a big drive. Of course, a few big plays that pop out, especially the scramble by Bo Nix there. Bo Nix being able to scramble for the 21-yard run, and then shortly after that, Bo Nix hits Batty right there for the 12-yard pass, and then that sets up the 7-yard touchdown run later on by Bo Nix in that one. And it's just, first of all, Bo Nix is just one of those football players. It is frantic, it is chaotic, and damn, is it fun to watch, right? Because he is just very much like Jaxson Dart.
Yes.
Just a high energy. It's almost like they're too excited at times, and they got to make every play. And that is also why I feel like both of these guys are really highly entertaining football players. But then following that drive, right, by the Denver Broncos, when it's 26-16 now after that touchdown drive, the interception by Jaxson Dart on third down really was, I think, that's when all of a sudden I started to think, oh no, this could get bad. We've actually given them an opportunity to get into the football game. And I think that's where, like, Dayball, you got to take the football out of your young rookie's hands in that situation. And at worst case, Jaxson, that's a time, just take the sack. It's all good. Denver only has one timeout left in the game at that point. Take the sack. Let's move on, punt the football, and let's play great defense. But the interception by Stranad, the short field, which ultimately leads to another touchdown, only 4 plays later on that short field. And that, to me, really was kind of like oh no, this is a whole different matchup now for the New York Giants to close this game out.
Yeah, everything you say, yeah, you got it. I was writing all these situations down, what happens, because there's so much happened in the fourth quarter. First off, I was asking you before we went on, the first throw of that drive where they ended up winning the game with the field goal kick, was it then? Where he was throwing the end cut coming across and he missed it. And then was it Mims who caught the ball?
It was Marvin Mims. So yeah, the last drive of the game,
yes.
There's only 37 seconds left in this football game. The Denver Broncos are able to use the 4 plays that they need to get down the field into field goal range. And it does start, right, with that first down play. Bo Nix to Marvin Mims for 29 yards. He was trying to throw the football to Cortland Sutton over the middle, right? But ultimately, it does find Marvin Mims, who's running that clear out route. Great adjustment by him to even recognize that the ball was coming his way and making that catch. And another example of the Giants giving up an explosive play when, everything is to their advantage and just playing too soft and too carefree in those situations. It reminded me a lot of that Dallas situation, right, where Aubrey's able to kick the 60-yarder there because we give up the easy completion over the middle. So that was super disappointing. And then shortly after that, Bo Nix, beautiful back shoulder throw to Cortland Sutton for 22-yard gain. Banks, good coverage, better throw, better catch. And then shortly after that, Will Lutz with the 39-yard field goal that is good, that ultimately takes the lead and the win.
Let me say this. You brought it up earlier. When you look at Bo Nix and Jaxson Dart, I don't like the way they play. I love it. When I see Jaxson Dart when he threw the interception, I didn't go, oh my gosh. I just went, they trusted him. Okay.
Yeah.
And that'll be something they have to go over with. But also, he should be aware of game management, timeouts, and all that. He is a rookie, so I'm going to say he'll learn it as he goes along.
Yeah.
What you do. But also the coaches have to do a good job there. And they called that play. Brian Daboll called that play, or whoever. Mike Kafka did it. Is because they trust their quarterback. And why wouldn't you trust him? So that's where I fight back a little, where everybody today has talked about you can't do that. Well, they just wanted to close the game out maybe right there.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm thinking. So when it was intercepted, ran for this, I was like, oh my gosh. But I didn't just go, oh, I can't believe they threw the ball. I didn't do that.
Yeah,
So,
I hear you. And we're all prisoners of these things after the fact, and we're geniuses and all that, and the hindsight of it. But
let me keep going on here. But Bo Nix, what do you think? I mean, now look at him, and he's Jaxson Dart, but in his second year.
Right.
I mean, hell, he was tearing it up last year, and you're going, wow, he was the 6th quarterback drafted, right, Matt?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just wonder how everybody looks at it and goes, well, were we wrong looking at it? Maybe it still would have been 6, but it probably would have been higher. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But he's got exactly Jaxson Dart, moving around, make plays. His arm is so much better than anybody thought it would be in the NFL. He does not lack power. He is accurate with the football when he's, of course, when he's given time. And the same with Jaxson Dart, man. These are 2 big-time franchise quarterbacks. And Bo Nix, his style of play, I think it was probably taught to him during training camp and off-season, everything. We got this mad guy standing on the sideline, looking at that big Waffle House play sheet. I mean, it's unbelievable.
It is.
And it's not an accident that how they win these games late. It's not. This is who the coach is, and this is how he's trained their players. So, that kind of went through my mind too as I'm watching. I said, oh my God, Sean Payton, this is like his wheelhouse. He's over there going, I'm good. It's going to be great, because his confidence never disappears. But it was an unbelievable game. And, when the Giants missed that second extra point, that's when I just went, it's just not meant to be.
Yeah, and it's interesting just the ebbs and flows of this football game. I thought one of the best calls by Sean Payton on the day. First of all, we saw again he's got like 90 different ways to do the roll right pass.
Oh my gosh!
There's the Giants again. 2 guys off the edge, and 2 guys run right past the halfback that's running past them in the flat for an easy completion. Just like that's to me is very, very interesting. 2 people off the edge free. I think one of them would cover the guy. The other issue, though, or the other compliment I have more so for the Denver Broncos and their offense, right? That 1st and 10 play call by Sean Payton, where he runs the quarterback sweep, right?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, for the 18-yard touchdown. Thought that was a phenomenal play call. And again, Sean Payton, Daboll, Kafka, right? Whoever, able to call some of these really unique quarterback-driven run plays and schemes because of their talent, because of their toughness. I thought that was a tremendous play call. And the Giants, man, when you said they missed the extra point, it wasn't their day. I mean, it was their day. They get the roughing the passer on the completion to Wan'Dale Robinson. First of all, great throw by Jaxson Dart, moving out the pocket, throwing it on the run. Wan'Dale reaching over the first down. That was fantastic play. Get the roughing the passer penalty on John Franklin Myers, which was like probably one of the softest calls I've ever seen in the NFL in my life. And then to follow it up too by the referees calling a pass interference on Riley Moss on a throw where he's covering the receiver man-to-man coverage. He turns, he looks at the football, bats the football down, and yet he still gets called for PI. So I don't know what the hell you want these defenders to do. But ultimately, I think more importantly, Bo Collins and Jalen Hyatt both get behind the defense on that drive, and Jaxson Dart misses those. So, it just shows you how close they are to being kind of one of those teams that can just strike fast and be aggressive and all of that. Yeah. The other one, there was a 3rd down to Wan'Dale Robinson late in the football game where he overthrows that one. So I think Jaxson will kind of learn as he continues to play. Just it's not about the throw being perfect. It's about giving your guys those opportunities, very much like the Riley Moss pass interference call. He underthrew it. There's no doubt. Gave his guy an opportunity to get the penalty, but there was a few others where you got to give those 50-50 throws more opportunities because they were there. That being said, though, still like the quarterback, still like the way he plays, and our team has to do better defensively to win football games in the fourth quarter and can't give up 33.
I think the overthrows are the fact that he just got a little careful. In other words, he probably gave it just a little extra more than he thought he should.
Right.
Because that's the situation. The underthrow it would be, wow, you can't underthrow it. But I felt that. But also, I want to go back to Bo Nix touchdown run. I saw Alex Smith on TV this morning, and he talked about it. Yeah, we ran this in Kansas City.
He did. Yeah.
And
he also ran a similar play like that for San Francisco to get them into to win a playoff game. I feel like very similar structure, the exact same way.
Well, and all I know is the New York Giants look at that film and put that in.
Yeah,
and I'd be surprised if they don't.
Yeah,
yeah. So I don't know what else I could say. Oh yeah, the last thing too. How did you feel? Because I tell the truth.
Yeah,
I'm watching the game, and as soon as they pull the cameras away and I see what the Giants are lined up in, I went, no, the 3-man rush.
Oh yeah, I know.
Man, if anything, send 5, 6, whatever. I'm going to talk later here in this about some teams out there. One team out there this past weekend was sending 7 rushers at a quarterback.
Right.
But that 3-man rush, there's no chance. You got a fatigued defensive line. In those situations, you call in and you, if anything, have extra rushers, but you make it hard to distinguish, if that makes sense. Can it be a corner, the slot, games, whatever? It was that the Giants, the defensive line, it is absolutely the strongest point of their football team. And they needed to show up then. They had a hard time doing it.
Yeah. And you've been someone that has said that you're just not a fan of the 2-man, the 1-man, the 3-man rush where it's just like it's too vanilla, especially playing zone behind it.
Yes.
And the lack of spatial awareness, I want to say, by the Giants defense too at the end of the game is really ultimately what cost them. And it just, these type of things pop up for the Giants, it seems like just about every week where you're thinking, man, like, come on, like, we know they have to have a chunk play. We know that they're going to be aggressive throwing. Like, we can't just drop in zone and just be unaware of everything else that's surrounding us. So, just lack of execution in critical moments again by the New York Giants.
When you watched Bo Nix throw against that 3-man rush, he took about 6 hitches. Whoa, he didn't really take 6. I think he took 2 or 3. But man, a good quarterback given that kind of time, sooner or later they're going to find somebody that's open. And he found, even though he didn't throw it where he wanted, they still caught it. And
unbelievable.
And now they're going to play the Eagles. Okay, I got to just throw this in. You think the Eagles are not burning and waiting for this Giant team now? The fact that how they played yesterday was really outstanding. Jalen Hurts was terrific.
Yes.
But they knew the Giants gave it to them. And that fan base and that crowd and that team, man, now the Giants, man, emotionally, man, you better get it going again because it's going to be rough down there in Philadelphia. So.
I agree. Better get it going. You're right. You got to do whatever you got to do to motivate yourselves again and recalibrate, because I think the Eagles they're going to try to put it on you. They are. And I think they took that loss very personal on Thursday night, and they took it out on the Vikings, right, with the way that they played and their game plan, way more aggressive. Lane Johnson, he said, hey, we're too predictable. We need to be more creative. Well, ask and you shall receive. Kevin Patullo, that's exactly what he did. And Brian Flores, inability to rush the passer. They protected him great. One-on-one coverage on the outside way too many times in this football game. Jalen Hurts, one of the better deep ball throwers in the league, and absolutely made them pay. Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown were lights out on one-on-one coverage yesterday against the Minnesota Vikings.
My last thing, talking about that game for the Giants. So you know who it's up to? The players need to practice well, get rid of it, do all that. But it's got to be the calls by the offense and defensive coordinators, the head coach, whatever, to give them a chance to catch Philadelphia off guard. In other words, don't go out there and think we're just going to run our base stuff and it's going to work. No, you're going to have to keep them off balance by showing something new, something that could catch them. And, you can do that every game. You can always find on the offensive side 2 or 3 plays that when you call them, they're going to work. And not only do they work, they give us a chance for a pretty solid play, maybe to back the other team up, whichever side you're talking about. So
Yeah, no, that's a great point.
Giants, man.
Yeah.